It keeps me strength every day of my life. He's watching over me.
Good afternoon. This is Gerri Hudson. I thank you for listening to 12 Steps of Freedom that is on Intellectual Radio. You're going to be getting a lot from us. And my name is Gerri Hudson, and I have a co host who is not here right now, but you're going to hear her voice quite often. And she is the amazing, I like to call her a lot of times Professor Rose, but her name is Laura Rose. So, Laura, why don't you go on and speak to our audience?
Oh, good afternoon. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Laura, so we've been really wanting to do this show for a very long time now, haven't we, Laura?
Well, well, we're here.
We're here.
We're waiting for the right time and the right place, and this is where we are. We're where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that we're going to do with 12 Steps of Freedom, we're going to be talking about ways and in the steps that it takes to be free. That free is not just one step. I don't think that you can become free from almost anything with one step. I think that you have to, how far are you away from where it is that you want to be? What do you want to see in your life, and what are you seeing right now? So in 12 Steps of Freedom, Laura, I know you've done a lot of you're completely in recovery. So when we talk about 12 steps, what do we want our audience to know about 12 steps and why that is the name of our show that is brought to you, by the way, sponsored by the Hyde Park writers group here in Chicago, Illinois, and we have lots of meetings. So we have meetings every single month, and are very, just always talking about what it is that intellectual Black people need to be knowing and talking about. So, Laura, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Well, thank you very much, Gerri. And there's no secret that there are 12 months of the year, and so we've got 12 steps, and we've got 12 months. And what we want to do is build on each month and build on each month and each step. And so we've named it 12 Steps to Freedom so that we can give our listeners an idea of what they should be working on or what it takes to get to that point of freedom. It doesn't happen overnight, but it takes unpacking. So we have to unpack each step. Each month we'll unpack.
I love that. I love the sound of that. The fact that, and so one of the things we're going to do in our first show, we talked about talking about how it is that what we call slavery and being enslaved, that who are the enslavers of today, and how is it that slavery has sort of changed the way it looks and what it is now and what it was yesterday. The things that enslave us, I talked to you about this last night, Laura, are not the same things that were enslaving us 100 years ago. But we can be just as enslaved today as we were 100 years ago, based on what it is that we are doing or what step we are on. And I'm going to allow you to respond.
Exactly. It looks different. For example, when you talk in terms of actual slavery, in terms of believing in what the so-called master tells you, believing in the propaganda of the master, having your mindset, having your mind is one of the, that's the overarching principle of slavery is that they have your mind. And so they know that they have your mind first, your body will follow. And so we're going to draw parallels between the slave master having the mind of the enslaved person, the same way that the multinationals have the consumer's mind and therefore have their wealth as well. And I should have added that to the first part of the slave master owning the wealth of the person with the person that's enslaved, just like the corporate entity owns the wealth of the consumer and gets it back from him or her. But it starts with a mindset of that dependency. And so we'll be unpacking that throughout this whole series.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is that if you're putting all of your effort, I just broke that down. Like you said, we're in the 12th month. And if you have been working, let's say what, 52 weeks, and if you can't spend 5 or 4 weeks doing exactly what you want to do, being wherever you want to be, how free are you? I mean, if you have nothing left for yourself after you have put forth all of your effort and given, if one of my best friends says it very often, what does it look like if I work for you and buy from you? And then
Exactly.
what does that really look like and how much freedom is that? So we're going to name some names, and on the way here, Laura, as we this first segment, the first 15-minute segment, where we concentrate on what it is that we see in the corporate or in the really not a democracy. But I want to talk about just the Chicago little thing that really came to me it's on 47th and it's on 47th and Cottage Grove, and we know, well, and anyway, I live on Cottage Grove, but where I was looking at how into they called it perpetuity, they called it that 47th and Cottage Grove was sold to Walmart into perpetuity with one with one payment so they actually, what they did is Walmart, I mean, Laura, I mean, even in the 90s, you were questioning the morality you questioned the presence of Walmart in the South when you were in college in the South. I mean, you were one of the first people who told me to beware of that conglomerate, that corporate entity. Laura, I'm going to let you kind of respond to that. And then I'm going
Right. Right. Exactly. I'm sorry. Then you're going to do what? I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. You didn't. I let you in. So what they did, Laura, what they did is they closed the store. And I kept trying to figure out why they closed the store. I mean, it's just a big abandoned building. And then it came to me, one of my writers said to me that they own the building, the rental properties on top are owned by Walmart. So whether or not the store stayed open to the community was irrelevant because they own all of the apartments on top that the politician had sold them the block that that the community needs businesses on, that is perfectly located for all kinds of businesses and the exchange of goods and services. You sold it to a conglomerate that closed the store and left. Now I'm gonna let you respond.
Wow. Well, that's why they say Walmart kills twice, because what happens with Walmart is when Walmart comes into an area, let's say the Walmart superstore comes into the area that has not had a Walmart, it offers everything at the best price. So it'll have a dry cleaner, it'll have a florist, it'll have a nail salon, and it'll have the fast food restaurants like Subway and the pretzel place. They'll have those within Walmart, so that Walmart becomes the one-stop shopping experience. And what happens is when Walmart comes, they undersell every other business. I can remember a florist telling me that when Walmart came, Valentine's Day was his best day. He sent his kids to college off of the money he would make on the particular holidays. Valentine's Day being his best week and the best day. And so when Walmart came along, Walmart put him out of business because Walmart undersold him on flowers and delivery and everything. It was very sad for him. And this happened in real time. I watched it. Same thing with the dry cleaners. The dry cleaners had been in business in this particular town for many years, the family-owned business. And Walmart came in and undercut their prices because they can do the loss leaders because their idea is to get rid of all the competition. And so that's what Walmart is used to doing. It's coming into an area, taking over the market, and then when Walmart decides it's no longer a profit, it's going to kill the second time. And that's what you just described. So all the other businesses have gone out of business. They put the grocery stores out of business. They put every other business goes out of business. And then someone decides at corporate that this Walmart is not making enough, or we could make more money doing something else. And that's what they go with. And that's bad news for the people in the town. But the people in the town didn't know what was going to happen because they didn't understand capitalism, which is at the root of everything going on in the United States right now is capitalism. The enslavement is for capitalism. The taking your minds over is for the sake of capitalism. And it's fun and games when we can get a good bargain. But at what price do we get a good bargain? And that's the problem. What price is a good bargain? Now, let's talk about the actual slavery. The actual slavery didn't work for lots of people, but the oppression of an entire population became very valuable, much like slavery was somewhat of a lost leader in many cases, where the people who enslaved people didn't make much money and didn't get rich. They got in debt. But the system of the subjugation and the oppression of the blacks became that became the commodity in and of itself. So when people discuss the plantation owners and their foreclosures and how they didn't really make much money or didn't make much money at the end of the day, that may well be. But they got to the the descendants of these owners got to inherit the land. As you said before, the land became the most valuable thing, and the people working the land, as long as they were subjugated, were also a commodity. So then you have a system where the workers are actually sharecropping. Actually, when the word slavery is taken away, then they find another way for people to work the land and they get the money. So it's all part of, when we talk about the 12 steps to freedom, we first want to understand how the mind works and how the capitalists, the industrialists, the overclass has taken over, how they take over, how this group of people that take over and have people thinking a certain way. So when we're talking about freedom, we're talking about freedom to think for ourselves and unpack things as we see fit that makes sense to us without the paradigms that are given to us. I'm sorry for talking so much, but I had to get that across.
You are fine. You are fine. We're 21 minutes in for 12 Steps to Freedom, sponsored by the High Park Writers Group, and we are on IntellectualRadio.com. I don't think you talk too long at all. We're going to change the subject in about 4 minutes. But Laura, thank you for that insight, because like you said, when we talk about steps, so what step is it that the community can take now? Is that Walmart going to stay closed and abandoned, and you can't even go on the parking lot and park? They don't even let the community people park in the parking lot. There is no uh there's no commerce that goes on. They just own the units upstairs, and they can decide at will how much the rent is. And since there's no jobs, they can obviously, how is it that people can hold on to their housing? And that's one of the things that were being asked. And even when Joe Biden did not, supposedly, allegedly did not win when Kamala Harris, I'm sorry, allegedly did not win the election, it was because she didn't really offer a way for people to stay in the homes that they already had. And so, so how do we stop paying? We were paying the store. Now Walmart still owns the entire block in a community where they won't dare live. So what is the step that we needed to make the politicians take in order to take back our space, That's what we want our callers to start thinking about. That's what we want to start thinking about. What step? Is it a letter? Is it a don't buy? And we're gonna be talking, Lord. I would think I want to end on this, but let's just stop buying from people that don't look like us, Laura. Let's just look at that. And I'm just gonna end on this, Laura, if it's okay. We're 23 minutes in. But I just, as a scientist, so you guys, I have a degree in microbiology. I'm a natural researcher. And to do some research, Laura, I did go into Target. I'd only been into Target in 2025. Listen, talk about steps. I did very well. Once it was suggested that we don't buy anything from Target, I was on board with that. And I've been in there 2 times. And by the way, my mom and I used to spend about $200 a month in Target. That's just us. And there were lots of us in there. But anyway, I went in there a couple of days ago, and it's a ghost of itself. Target is it is a ghost of itself. I was such a frequent shopper that I saw it, and they're never going to admit it. You're never going to hear it anywhere but intellectual radio. They're not going to tell you when you're winning, Laura. Go on, Laura. Answer.
And I think that's a great start. And pardon the pun, but targeting a particular business and saying, look, this is how we're addressing this capitalism. Here's who we will target, so to speak. Target. That's a very good target. I like it. I like it because it makes a statement. If we all do it, if we all decide to do it, we're 50 million strong as African Americans.
Come on.
If we all decide that we do not go to Target,
come on,
and so be it. We will not go to Target.
Baby, it is a shell of itself, Laura. A shell. It was a joke. They're not going to say, baby, that thing is over. It's over. The CEO.
That's one way to do things. And another thing that we could do is, as a collective, is look at how do we get out of this agreement? How does the city, how do the people get out of that, just get out of that agreement with that corporation?
Come on now.
How does that happen?
Come on now.
There are more people than that. There are more people that live in the city than run that corporation. And so how does that happen? It happens when we stand up and we unpack and we understand. We just don't stand there and take it, because that's unacceptable.
Beautiful. That's exactly right. You don't stand there and just take it. So know your power. And I'm just gonna mention a couple of names, Laura, and as we 26 minutes in, just some people. I've been listening. I mean, and by the way, listeners, me and Laura, this is beautiful. We don't always agree, and I love it when we don't agree. I love it. You're gonna see that the show is not always just about us agreeing with each other. We have a lot of places and a lot of things that we don't agree on. I listen to Boyce Watkins a lot, and I do like his B1 message, and I also listen to Roland Martin as he unpacks where the Democrats and Republicans, and he and Boyce don't agree at all. But I do find enjoyment in listening to both of them. So Laura, why don't you share some of who you listen to and the things you get out of that, and then I'm gonna let and then we're gonna change the direction of the show.
Oh, well, you know what? That's an interesting question about who I listen to, because I am listening all over the place. I like to listen to Umar Johnson.
Yeah.
I like to listen to. It's a very good question.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Sometimes I listen to the Midas Touch.
Okay.
The political things going on. I listen to MS Now.
Okay.
I listen to Joy Reid.
Okay.
I listen to some of those.
Okay.
And I like hearing all points of view. I don't really listen to conservatives other than clips from someone else unpacking a conservative. So if I know something that some conservative says, like Candace Owens or someone, I only know because someone has a clip, played the clip, so I don't have to hear her talk.
I agree. Like you said, it's secondhand, second that emotion. I love it, Laura. So yeah, Laura, that's exciting. So yeah, we want to be telling our listeners where to get their news. Because listen, don't listen to that corporate news. I mean, that's just all the same message all the time, Laura. So the next subject, you want to The next subject, Laura, what are we gonna be talking about next? I mean, we're doing with corporate. I mean, we used to have a show, Men, Money, Food. What we want to do our next segment on? You thinking, Laura?
Well, you know what? We got a big following in men, money, and food, and well, I want to put that out to the listeners. Are we going to talk about men, money, and food? You know, which subjects in there do we like to talk about the most? Which one is your favorite, Gerri?
Well, okay, I started the show with it. I really love breaking down relationships and what the male female dynamic, how it looks different in 2025. But my favorite subject is capitalism, Laura. So why don't you tell? I just think we do far too many favors and not enough business, and that is my favorite thing to talk about. What about you, Laura?
Well, I do like discussing. I do like discussing the relationship with food and eating.
Come on now.
And those issues. And
yes.
I particularly wanted to discuss the way that the Black community is turning on each other and fat shaming each other over going to the gym.
Come on now, Laura.
I particularly like talking about that.
Come on, Laura.
Because I think it dovetails with capitalism. I think these people that are pushing gym membership on Black people are, it's that Planet Fitness corporate ideology of, come on, let's go to the gym. They don't want you to go to the gym. They want your money every month. Okay?
That's right.
Everyone's money every month because it becomes a moral test. Do you go to the gym? And we as African Americans are doing that with each other. Not do you go to church. Not are you active in your community.
Come on now.
But have you given your credit card to Lifetime Fitness or Planet Fitness?
Come on.
Whichever one is the most popular, whichever one is most popular. And so somehow you have some sort of credibility because you have a gym membership and you go to the gym. That's firmly in the culture.
Whoa.
And I hear it as a way. The other day I was listening to I Am Truth. I like listening to I Am Truth.
Okay.
And someone was on the I Am Truth show and they asked the woman, well, what kind of men do you like? And she described the kind of man she liked, like a well-built guy. Well, she was just giving like her wish list, like a kid, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or like a kid, what do you want for Christmas?
Okay.
And so she was, delighting in describing it.
Okay.
And the person on the panel began to excoriate her with all kinds of rudeness, including, she said something to the effect of, I can look and see you want a man that is all muscular, is well built, goes to the gym, right? And I can look and see that you don't work out. And the woman's face fell. And I was like, how dare you make someone feel this bad? Because they're not following that gym culture, go to the gym. And I also follow Tasia out of Chicago.
Okay.
And she does some shots of her in the gym because she knows that people are into this gym culture.
Sure.
And the gym culture is really just like cable TV. They just want your money every month.
And so I just want to get in there, Laura. Like you said, you're saying about this woman, definitely, and the gym definitely is based on memberships and whether or not because they already know only a certain percentage of people are going to actually go in there and work out. And also when you said that, imagine that woman sharing that she wanted the opposite of herself. You already know that I've definitely, for years, I've talked about wanting men who had a six pack, knowing good and well I should want my own six pack. She should not have addressed that woman like that. And that we're not attracted to the opposite of ourselves. We're supposed to be attracted to somebody who has the identical problem of us. We've kind of targeted to men. I mean, I want a man who has the exact same deficiencies that I have. Is that what I want?
Yeah, and that's what really galled me, because the woman had nothing to say, because somehow in this culture that we have, people have agreed, okay, Jim's good, everything else bad. And so now we're talking about capitalism, and which is the same thing that you want to talk about. And I see that we're using this whole thing of, I go to the gym, here's my gym membership and all this. I work out. We're using that because we're not thinking.
Come on, Laura.
Unpacking that.
Come on, Laura.
That you don't need to go to the gym.
What you do need, tell them what they need to do, Laura, because
you may need to exercise, but you sure don't need to buy a gym membership. If you live in a neighborhood, in a well-to-do neighborhood, and a decent enough neighborhood, you'll notice many people jogging through the city.
Okay.
They're jogging through the city. They're walking walks. They're walking through the park. They're doing things of that nature, which we all know do not cost anything extra. There are all kinds of exercise equipment. There's all kinds of exercise equipment available to most people, for very, very minimal prices. You can go to Goodwill and buy an exercise bike.
So
pay $25 for it one time. Come out of this whole get your credit card, hit your credit card once a month, and be able to brag to the group of the online peanut gallery and say, I work out, as if that's like something like your calling card. But capitalism makes us do that. People say that just for capitalism purposes.
So, Laura, please tell them how much you've lost without going to the gym to do it. Go on and do that. Come on, Laura.
Personally, I walk.
But how much? Right.
Personally, I manage my food choices personally.
Because
I've been able to keep 140 pounds off my body for 8 years.
Okay, that's what you need to share, because the first step is to discipline yourself. How about before you buy anything? Because that's not the discipline to change your life. That's not the first step. That's not the second step or the third one. The first step is to decide that you're going to do something to move your body more than you're doing at a certain time per day, a certain number of times per week. The first step is to decide to do something, Laura. And you did something with your food choices. I'm going to let you talk now.
Oh, well, yes. And the very first thing I did was I decided to do something about obesity, because I had knee pain. And which brings another point back to capitalism, and how if you spend many years overweight and exercising in a gym and paying for gym memberships, you're going to hurt your joints even more. And when you hurt your joints hurt you. You may need to get joint replacement, and that's very expensive surgery. And so that's why I believe that the Planet Fitness people, the corporations, promote getting these joints worn down so that they can do knee surgeries. They can do for each person.
Absolutely.
2 knees.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Customer there for
You're right. You're still in the customer, right? You're still in the customer zone, right, Laura? Because you have not changed your mind. You haven't taken one step to do better health, and because you have not. You have not saying, Laura, what is the one thing you taught me? And listen, by the way, my mother, and I'm not gonna put it on anybody else. We love putting it on, because my mother's been sick. I've been sick. I'm eating out of control again. I'm eating between meals. How about, Laura, the first thing you promoted with me was what? Stop eating between meals. How come nobody promotes that?
Right. Well, they can't, because they're selling you all this stuff between the meals. They're selling you on DoorDash. They make money on it.
Stop eating between meals. Eat your meals and stop eating. 3 meals.
Yeah, that's what they're paid to. That's a part of a system. That's part of an economic system. That's part of capitalism.
And we know this.
Things to you. Remember when Taco Bell introduced something called fourth meal? Not because they cared about what people were eating. They just want to make more money.
Laura, and we're not shaming anybody, but we know good and well that we see the expansion of American bodies. We see and Lord knows I've spent enough years obese. And when you lose and gain weight, you have all of this skin, and then they promote the Abex. They tell you to go out there. They're constantly sending me videos about Abex, and they sort of suggest that, hey, you can get this skin removed, this excess skin. When you gain weight excessively, you have extra skin, and the skin does not go away when you lose the weight. And the way to get the skin off again is surgery. And it's not there. I asked in the writers group, how much do you think Abex costs? How much does it cost to get the skin removed once you lose weight? Lord, I mean, I know you haven't. Do you have any idea how much it is?
Yes. Okay. So arms are about 15,000 per arm. Stomach is about maybe 10,000.
That's your 15,000.
Yeah, and then they don't recommend thighs because it's very dangerous. But if you have to have them, I'm sure there's a price.
And so, and we know this, when we grew up, Laura, the food store only had one. It didn't have a whole aisle of snacks, Laura. There was no whole aisle of snacks. It was a few snacks in the front. As we see the snack aisle growing in foods, and we literally see buy 8 and get 1 free. If you buy 1, it's $6.99. If you buy 3, they're $3.99. They're making you buy more food. They're making you buy more drinks. They're making you buy more everything. I don't want 5 bags of snack in my house.
Right.
How come
you think you need it? Yeah, they're making you think you need it.
But it goes back to the capitalism, and then the expanding waistline. And then at some point, you're going to look a certain, as you say, then you're going to run to the gym as if driving. Let's not even admit, I mean, like, I love to swim. So I love the gym. I happen to be a person that is a real gym person. And I do, I'm very healthy because I do a lot of swimming and working out, and I love doing that. But I know that most people that buy the membership never show up there. And right now that it's cold and it's snowing, they're actually now just getting money from me. I'm not there. Okay. So that's what,
Right.
and so now one of the things that one of the options you get in social media, if you really want to work on your body and work on that part of yourself, there's enough videos, if you all are always watching that, to show you how to exercise at home using your chairs, using your walls even. There's enough information out there about how it is that you can work on the problem areas you have in your body to get better without getting in your car going to the gym.
Exactly. But every bit of information that's out there has been out there for years, and we've always known what sit-ups and pull-ups and all these kinds of exercises have been out long before social media and the internet. They've been out for a long, long time. People have been getting fit. People have been getting well-exercised, toned bodies since time began, and that's just through the simplest of exercise. It's not about paying your credit card every month paying with your credit card every month, but that's what capitalism does. It gets your mind. That's why we're unpacking these things.
Mm-hmm.
It gets your mind, and it tells you that this is the root, and then we enforce on each other. That young woman that enforced on that other young woman was out of line. She changed the whole situation. She became some sort of fat shamer. Like, why aren't you in line? Don't you know you're supposed to be going to the gym yourself? And she couldn't say she was going to the gym because she was really just fat shaming her. She could have said, I go to the gym every other day. I go to the gym. What are you talking about? She could have said that, but the way she had fat shamed her
Mhm.
because she wasn't body beautiful.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
just a tool that how we're taught to fight each other, so to speak, so that we
Yes.
can be for the capitalism of
Yes.
it all. We're taught
Yes.
that if something's wrong, if you pack a kid a lunch, you pack the kid a lunch and he eats the lunch that you pack him, then he's somehow ostracized in the cafeteria with weird food. When you pack the kid some healthy lunch or some lunch that you want him to have, that's the lunch you prepared and you cooked and you know the origins from.
Well, Laura,
Then they're looked at. They look at him like, what do you mean you're not just eating what the capitalists tell us to eat?
Laura, you girl, you are hitting my plate right now, and I just interrupted you, but I want to just stay on that. Listen, when I go to work, I'm a substitute teacher on the west side of Chicago, and I have never been in the lunchroom. I've been in that school. Been there 5 months, and they have jokes out. They've never seen me in the lunchroom. I'm like, that means I'm winning. That's about that for me. That's the fourth step. The fact that you've never seen me in the lunchroom because I bring my meals and because I only eat what I bring. I don't buy anything while I'm only making minimum, it's barely above minimum wage. The last thing that I need to do is spend $40 on lunch. Go on, Laura.
Exactly. Because again, that's what capitalism is about, is taking all your money just to exist.
And then working,
You earn.
and
Yes.
and then you're working, and then you at the end of 6 months, you have not even saved $6. How many of you don't even, you have no net worth? That's what Boyce Watkins is talking about. You have literally, there are people, I have relatives, I'm not making it up, who have worked 40 years and have a negative net worth at the end of that. There is no way I'm going into school, Laura, as you say, as you talk about, and I teach the children, at least now at this school, we don't allow snacking because they were doing DoorDash at some schools that I went to on the north side. So now I encourage the young people to bring their lunch. Why do you, well, you say, oh, in the lunchroom, that food was nasty. They don't even cook it down there. They have corporate people have, as you talked about during the pandemic, Laura, and that's they said in Chicago, Rahm Emanuel's brother allegedly has a contract where he makes millions of dollars bringing lunch to the school because there's no longer a grill at the school. They don't cook it here. It was cooked somewhere 6 months ago that you're eating now. That's what I tell them. I don't know how long. That's allegedly. I say that for all you know, what you're eating right now was cooked somewhere 5 months ago in Oregon and was brought here. Why are you eating that? Bring your own food. Okay, Laura, go on.
That is a discussion of capitalism and food and eating and all that. That's a very important discussion to have. Because there's no mystery in the food that we eat. And the fact that they have, so they have our minds, because that's the way it happens. They have our minds. So we accept it. Here's the food that we have. We're just accepting it without even thinking.
So what we're saying, the first step, Laura,
Whatever.
give them the first step, Laura, for the food recovery. What does food recovery look like, Laura? Let's talk about that.
Recovering from a food addiction is about understanding why you eat and why you use food.
Mm.
Okay, now, are you using food? Are you eating to live? Or are you living to eat? That's the overarching question. Are you eating to live? Or are you living to eat? Are you starting to like the food? Do you like the food? You're starting to have a relationship with food of all things, like a relationship with money. Do you have a relationship with money of all things? Relationships are with people.
Come on now.
You have relationships with people.
And we are 47 minutes in. Let's end the show. That's right, Laura. How can you love something that can't love you back? That'd be like me loving it, which right now I love this microphone. But come on, somebody else is going to use it in the next hour. They better.
That's right.
Okay.
You cannot love a chair.
You can,
Although it can be very comfortable.
right.
You can like the chair, but loving the chair?
No.
Really?
So when we talk about 12 Steps of Freedom, sponsored by the High Park Writers Group, and we're here on Intellectual Radio, we're talking about what it is you're doing what step you're taking to change your life. First of all, let's do this one. Join an organization, Laura. Come on, let's just let them know what the first step. Become. Come on.
You have to have human beings
Come on.
in an organization that you meet on a regular basis. See, this is called church. And be on a committee.
Be on a right. Don't just show up there. Come on, Laura.
You have to be accountable. When you're not there, someone has to wonder that someone should be testing you.
And
driving by your house.
And what is being encouraged now, and I see it is particularly with the younger people, they want people to have a certain personality so that they can get along with the people. The people that are in relationships with their phone are not able to be, and then that's the last segment. They're not really able to be in organizations, Laura, because people in the organization are not going to say or do any of the things you want them to do. Go on, Laura.
Oh, the old fantasy of the fantasy. Yeah, there's a lot of fantasy out here with the online dating. And you can order people up just like you order your food. No, you can't. There's no ordering of people. There's no ordering of the things that take time to get to. There's you don't order a relationship like you order a DoorDash meal.
No.
You don't do that.
No.
And you're finding young people, and even maybe older people, they're doing all this dating and then reporting back on the internet what the person said and did and how this is acceptable. And they're looking for some mythical high, what do they use the term? There's a term that they use. What's it called? High value.
Yeah.
High value man or high value man. Man, it makes a lot of money. The greatest thing I've heard. Man, it makes a lot of money. Though we can see in the White House right now,
come on,
a man who makes a lot of money. We can see, we can hear about the Epstein files. We can see all of that. We can see Sean Diddy, we can see Bill Cosby. We can see all these predators. But you're going to tell me they're high value people. We can see all these. That makes no sense. High value. You mean high income, or is that your value? If you value people by how much money they have or make, then that you've got a warped sense of you have a warped sense of reality, because that's what capitalism is teaching you. That the very best people are the richest people.
Oh, Laura, I got a personal story.
Believe that.
I got a personal story. Oh, Laura, I got a personal story, and that's going to lead you wrong. You're going to be distracted. And one of the things we want to do in the show, we want to really coach young women. You need to be coached into relationships, because I fell into the trap, Laura. That's going to be a tale from me. I went to Howard University, and I had, very, very, I wasn't there a month when I met a great guy. He was a musician, Larry Seals. Fantastic guy, Laura. Fantastic guy. And oh my God, I did just what you're talking about. You said a high value man. There's another man that came after me a year and a half later. He was an orthopedic surgeon. His first name was Sunday. And I just thought he was so much better than Larry, because he had more money and a fancy Supra, a 1980 Supra. So I was riding around in the best car on the campus with Sonny. So I thought I was doing so much better than Larry. And I was not. Sunday had narcissistic personality disorder, and did not really, and just like most doctors from the 80s, and you know this from the, most of them actually had no people skills. And the truth of the matter was, Laura, he chose me, now I saw it, because I had a personality, and he would be able to get somewhere with people because he had me close to him, because he had no ability to get along or appreciate people. That's what? That's a real story. And so that okay. And he wasn't able to stay married. Larry Seals became in DC, became a definitely a semi-famous musician, but better than that, he became a long-term 30, 40-year husband and a great father to his children. And we know our women right now being trained, Laura, you talked about this because you weren't coaching me then, because again, I would not have made that choice had I been coached properly. Because just what you're talking about, if you're only looking at who's going to bring in biggest income and who has the most fancy car, yes, he was sleeping with other women while he was sleeping with me right away. Laura, go on.
Well, yeah, because you have the value system. The richest man is the best man, and that's not true. You can't use that metric. You cannot use that metric at all. The best man is the man that treats you the best.
Come on.
The best man is the kindest man.
The one
man is the man who's going to be a good family member to the rest of your family members. The best man will be the one who's there for you in your old age and able to help you and go ahead and pick up your medicine. That's what the best man does. The best man has a character, has good character. That's what the best man. That's the value. That's what's valuable to you, and and for your spirit, for your soul, is someone that values you, not somebody that has capitalism, by the tail. Someone who's rich. A rich person is not necessarily the most valuable.
How about create and build together, young women? We're going to. How about create and build together? I saw there was another one. I'm trying to see if I can find her on my phone. She was an artist, Laura, and she's a bison. Laura's not a bison. Go on, Laura. Tell them. Laura, you went to the other HU. Okay.
I will never be mistaken for a bison.
She went to the other HU, but the Lord tell them where you went so they'll know. They're going to hear that all the time.
Hampton University graduate, which makes me a pirate.
But I'll know it on this next show. You all got to listen. But Lord knows she's an artist and she's doing an exhibit right now at the Smithsonian. And her husband is a DJ. You hear me? He plays music while she does art. I'm like, what? Come on now. She knew how to pick a man, did she not? If she had my mother, let me just go and put my mother. My mother would have been like, well, he ain't doing nothing but playing music while you make $10,000 art pieces. That's back to being in the mind of a slave, that somebody that you're not there to build in a collaborative. You're part of an organization. You're building together, Laura. We're definitely running out of time, but Laura, we're 56 minutes in. I think we only she'll let me know we only have it. So Laura, have we kind of introduced the people to what they're gonna get from the show?
I think we did.
All right. Well, listen, you guys come back. The High Park Writers Group, we're at 51st and Cottage Grove. We're going to be having a Martin Luther King event on January 19th. It's going to be an immersive event. We're starting at 3 p.m. at 51st and Cottage Grove. Give me a email at Hudson at hotmail.com. Hudson at hotmail.com. Laura, do you have anything you want to give them?
No, I don't have anything right now, but I'll see you next time.
Okay, Laura, you can go on and go, and I'm going to close the show out. Thank you so much, Intellectual Radio, for allowing me to have a show here. And I have had an absolutely awesome time, and I can't wait to come back. All right.